guys, and welcome back to We Are Called. Today begins a new series for the channel, and one where we're going to be discussing the various saints of the Catholic Church, who they are, what they did in their lifetime, and how we can invoke their special intercession for us now that they're in heaven. So before we get into who all the saints were, there may be some of you new to the channel who are unaware of the Catholic Church and what we teach. And one of the beautiful traditions that we hold are the invocation of the saints. And what is a saint? The Catholic Church defines a saint as someone who lived a virtuous life, heroically. So the virtues, those in reference being the cardinal virtues and the theological virtues. So we're talking about faith, hope, charity, and they were able to display those no matter their circumstance throughout life. The additional aspect to declaring a saint is that there has been a miracle or two associated with a lay person of the faith invoking their intercession. So asking them to pray to God on their behalf for any number of things. Most of the time, it involves a physical healing. So that's how we define saint for the Catholic Church. And in deciding who to speak about this week, who to start our saint series on, it became so clear as I took a look at the calendar and realized we are only days away from celebrating Labor Day, the holiday of the worker. And who is the patron saint of workers but Saint Joseph? So please stay tuned as we talk about Saint Joseph, a little bit about him. His new title, which you probably noticed from the title of this video, and I want to touch on that just a bit, so stay tuned to find out some more. Saint Joseph, what do you know about him? The Bible doesn't tell us a tremendous amount of information, but we do have enough to go off of. For example, we know that he was a carpenter. We know that he was asked to be the foster father of Jesus Christ. And we know that he was married to the Blessed Virgin Mary. Those are pretty sound, concrete, biblical facts about Saint Joseph. But what else do you know about him? It wasn't until the late 1800s that the Catholic Church officially recognized Saint Joseph by including him in the Litany of the Saints. And within the Litany of the Saints, Saint Joseph is mentioned under many different titles, one of which is the Terror of Demons. Now that was a new title for me. I had never heard of him as given this title before, and actually up until about a few months ago, I was kind of ignorant of his own litany. I had never heard of it, never recited it, and had not researched it on my own. So this is a brand new thing that came to light for me, courtesy of Father Don Calloway's book, Consecration to Saint Joseph. In that book, Father Calloway refers to Saint Joseph many times as the Terror of Demons. And that was such a powerful title to me because so often I tend to think of Saint Joseph as this very elderly old man when really common sense kind of rules that out. There's no way that Saint Joseph could have been a feeble, elderly old man and been charged with being the guardian and the protector of the Blessed Virgin Mary and Jesus Christ. Not to mention, if we think about how often they had to travel on foot just to do the census, as we're told they did in the Bible, that was many, many, many miles on foot one way. There's no way an elderly old man in need of a cane could have made that trip and could have successfully guarded and protected the Savior of the world and the Blessed Virgin Mary. It doesn't make sense. So to start imagining Saint Joseph as this strong, middle-aged guardian of the Holy Family is such a powerful image. And we know from the Litany of Saint Joseph that he is mentioned also as the protector of the Holy Family, and in extension, protector of our families. So think about this. Saint Joseph was not the feeble old man that art illustrations have portrayed him to be. It just does not make sense. Why would God pick an old man to be the physical guardian and protector of the two most important human beings to ever walk the face of the earth? And I say human being, we know Jesus was God-man, so don't misquote me there. But for him to have guarded the Holy Family, he would have had to have been strong. He would have had to have been able to handle not only the work that he did, but in raising a small son and protecting his young wife. So Saint Joseph, as this terror of demons, this strong protector of the Holy Family, it's an amazing and eye-opening realization when you think about it. So in saying that he's the terror of demons, how do we define terror? Dictionary.com defines terror as extreme fear. Father Don Calloway mentions in his book that we are now in modern times experiencing terror in a way that we never have before as a civilization. So we're not just talking about organized terror in a military sense or in a mass murder sense, although we do have that. That's not the only form of terror. Terror, especially in reference to demons, can be those things that attack us and bring about extreme fear within our own day-to-day life. So if you're a married person, you may experience extreme fear in relation to, the loss of a spouse or discontent within your family. That can give rise to fear for yourself in an extreme form. Worrying about our children day to day and all of the horrible ways that the world can just rip them from our arms. Doesn't have to be physically, but it can be emotionally pulling them apart. We know about bullying. We know about all the dangers of the internet. We know about child trafficking, all these concerns that we have, all these attacks against the domestic family. So Saint Joseph, when we invoke his protection and his intercession, he steps up not only as that guardian of the Holy Family, but he's the guardian of our family too. Anyone who desires to be closer to his adoptive son, he is going to protect and make sure that they are safe. And one of the great saints in reference to terror was Saint Faustina. And she mentioned in her diary of a time when she was being personally attacked by demons and she was terrified. And she actually called upon Saint Joseph to help her. Saint Joseph, help me get through this. Help me to be able to come out on the other side of this crippling fear. And she is quoted in her diary as saying, this is in reference to Saint Joseph. Saint Joseph urged me to have a constant devotion to him. He has promised me this special help and protection. And this is 1203 of her diary. So even Saint Faustina was able to draw strength from Saint Joseph. Now, I will speak in reference to Father Calloway's book at a later video when I'm doing a series on just book reviews, Catholic book reviews. And in this book, Father Calloway stresses the importance of us taking the time to consecrate not only ourselves, but our families to Saint Joseph. We are now experiencing in our modern time terror at an exponential level. And the only real way to ensure that our family stays together is obviously a prayer life, one where we're all praying together, but utilizing the intercession of the saints. And there's no better man to pray to than the man that was charged with protecting and keeping safe the Holy Family, the guardian of the Holy Grail. Can we agree here? What an amazing task. And he had to be such a strong person of faith to go along with this. The Bible tells us that Saint Joseph was told in a dream, an angel was sent to him, take Mary into your home. The child that she has conceived has come from God. Do not be afraid. And he trusted and he took Mary into his home and he loved her as his wife in a very chaste and holy way. Same as when an angel came to him and told him, Joseph, get up. You have to take your young family to Egypt just to protect them and keep them safe. Up he went very trustingly. So he's taking Mary and Jesus off to Egypt in the middle of the night, trusting that God has a plan and trusting that God will keep them safe. But he is the key component. So Saint Joseph, when we invoke his intercession, whether we do the consecration or we just offer prayers to him asking for his aid, he will help us to combat those demons that are threatening our marriages, they're threatening our family life, they're threatening our children, and he will help to keep us safe and close to God. So as I mentioned, in the late 1800s, Saint Joseph was added to the litany of saints, but it wasn't until 1909 that Saint Pope Pius XI officially approved the litany of Saint Joseph. So it's within this litany that we find him listed, one of his titles, as the terror of demons. But he's also listed as diligent protector of Christ, Joseph most faithful, Joseph most strong, glory of home life, pillar of families, patron of the dying, and protector of Holy Church, just to name a few. Now, if any of those titles inspire you or make you feel like that would be so amazing to have Saint Joseph as the pillar of our family, helping to keep us all close together, keep us all protected from the demons that threaten from the outside, and to bring us closer to his adoptive son, then I encourage you to look up the Litany of Saint Joseph, which is an easy Google search, and take a look at some of those other titles. They are so meaningful and so wonderful. It's crazy to think that only within the last decade has the church really begun to understand the significance of Saint Joseph and to inspire the faithful to look to him, to invoke his grace. He is the foster father of Jesus. Jesus is not going to deny him a favor or deny him a blessing for your family if you lean on him and use his holy and divine intercession. So that's it, guys. That's my short little quip on Saint Joseph. There is so much more to be said about him, but I only have a little bit of time here. So I hope that you were able to find this interesting, thought-provoking. Stay tuned because I will be doing some book reviews every so often. And the first book that I'm going to be reviewing, which will be next week's video, will be Father Don Calloway's Consecration to Saint Joseph, where we'll talk a little more in detail about what the consecration entails and the power that can be expected from calling upon our spiritual father, Saint Joseph. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up if you liked the video, and don't forget to subscribe. Until next time, guys, blessings to you and yours.